So the Miami Dolphins didn't embarrass themselves in their trip to Buffalo on September 18th for that Thursday night nationally televised game against the Buffalo Bills. Miami suffered a 31-21 loss, fourth quarter loss to Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. But the Dolphins didn't look that bad, Isaiah. How would you evaluate the performance?
Moral victories are for minor league coaches. It doesn't matter. Like I don't care. It's they're 0-3. You are who your record says you are. Like it's okay. Like I gave McDaniel a lot of credit last night. He put together a great game plan. He leaned heavy on the run. They were actually obviously they didn't fall behind early, right? So they were able to kind of stick with their game plan. But at the end of the day, look, it's one game. They lost and they're 0-3 now, right? So I think there are positives from this game, but to me, the bigger thing is that when you needed the most, your brightest players kind of folded, right? Zach Sealer, a guy that doesn't make much mistakes, right? He gets a roughing the kicker call, right? Tua, franchise quarterback, one of your highest paid player on the team. When it comes down to what happens, that was a pick, right? And not just any pick. It was he stared down Jalen Waddle the entire time. Don't get me wrong. Brunskill, got washed, right? Got washed. Quick swim move over. Tua had less than a couple seconds to think about it. And unfortunately, he fired it to Terrell Bernard. But look, man, the thing is, when you know you're the worst team, your margin of error is so small.
Yeah,
it's true. So small. And the defense actually was giving you stops in the second half. And it's coming upon you to go make good of those stops and punch the ball into the end zone, right? And they weren't able to do that. Granted, again, there's some positives in this, but to me, I don't believe in moral victories. Moral victories are for minor league coaches. This is the major leagues. This is the NFL. You're 0-3 now. It is what it is. You got to find a way. I think Mike McDaniel did enough to, keep his quote unquote job, right? I think I thought about what Rappaport said. For those who don't know, Ian Rappaport reported before the game that that Ross doesn't want to make wholesale changes, right? Unless two things. There is two interesting caveats. Unless the players stop playing for him, or unless the fan attendance drops. That is straight from Ian Rappaport. Look. And it's interesting that they mentioned fan attendance, right? Because it kind of gives the fans some ownership over it. But I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Bro,
I don't know what to say.
Fan attendance is bad to begin with. The season opener, I would estimate there were probably 40% empty seats. I took a picture at the beginning of each quarter just so I can act like it was my imagination that the seats were empty in a whiteout game. So it was very easy to see the aqua. Yeah. I don't believe the report.
Okay.
I know I generally have a consensus idea of where it comes from. And I'm not necessarily certain that person is in the know much. Yes, the team has not quit on Mike McDaniel. I don't know if they will. They seem to still be fighting. I have been watching, looking, analyzing, doing contextual memory recall to remember all the mediocre teams I've covered in the last 18 years and how it ended. And I think there's a couple of universal themes that I could say about these 2025 Dolphins. The first is they're scared. They're scared of the moment. They're scared of the pressure. They're scared of the circumstances and the situation. And I think that they began the season playing scared and intimidated about the position that they were put in. Two, after games, I just don't see enough care. I'm not saying that they're going through the motions, but they can certainly wipe away these losses pretty easily. And I get it. It's jokey. It's kitty. It's, I saw in the locker room a guy who I'm not going to name names because I'm trying to protect the innocent here because that ain't what I'm there for. But the guy got carved up all day, all game, like literally all game. And he's like bragging about the one play that he made. And I'm like, dude, you got carved up all game and you're bragging with your teammates about the one play that you actually won. And I was like, come on, bro. Like, this is, if there isn't enough care, there isn't enough, I could tell the people who care, and that's honestly the captains. And if I'm being real about it, everybody else is going through the motions.
Damn.
And
an indictment.
Nah, I mean it's what it is. I it's not like the first time I've seen it before, and maybe it's a generational thing. And I hate to be too harsh on this generation of players, but their attention, they got ADHD in a minute. Like, just suffered a tough loss. Let me scroll Instagram for looking for some chicks. Like, done. It's gone. It's over. It's washed away.
They wipe it off too easily. You feel like?
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. And I could say, Zach, unfortunately, and I love Zach, and I love Zach. Zach falls into the scared category. Zach knows what's at stake for this team and the pressure and what happens. And, that's why congratulations to him. You got your money. You good. But it doesn't mean you stop caring. And Zach cares. I think the blocking the punter penalty is Zach, who is trying to babysit all of these young, inexperienced screen players. And if you're going to ask me what's problem number one about the Miami Dolphins team, it's the fact that they keep getting blown off the ball every week by everybody. And that's Zach and his crew. Then when you're blown off the ball by everybody every week, you're in difficult third down situations. And yeah, they had a respectable performance in third down in the second half of the game. They couldn't get no stops on the first half.
Could not, yeah, for sure.
And everybody can score on Miami. And yes, it's Josh Allen. So, we put a little asterisk next to this one. But you can't stop the run. Teams are in favorable third down situations. Then you can't pin your ears back and actually get at the quarterback. So all of this pass rush that's supposed to carry this team negated because they're in difficult situations. It's not hard to convert a 3rd and 4. I throw a check down as a 3rd and 4. And then behind that, we got a weak sauce secondary that pretty much gives up everything. They just give it up and don't get it back. Now, talking to Minka Fitzpatrick after the game, Minka was like, you guys have gone 3 games without turnovers. And he said it, and I commend him for saying it. Got to stop the run. Got to get in favorable third down situations. That's when turnovers happen. When quarterbacks are forced to pass, they're rushed, we get a tip ball, we get a forced fumble sack. And truthfully speaking, Anthony Weaver's unit sucks. If we're just going to be honest about it. And there's nothing redeemable about this defense. And truthfully speaking, I don't know how it gets fixed. Because we just have to wait for the young players to get better? Okay, how long are we waiting?
I don't know. I think that's a good point. I feel like, and this is, it's interesting. Like, I think we kind of touched on this a little bit throughout, training camp. Like, they needed young players that are ready to play now, right? But they didn't necessarily draft those players in places.
Hold up.
In places. No. I'm saying in places. I'm talking. Obviously, Kenneth Grant is an outlier, right? And Jonah Savaiinaya. Those are taken in the first 2 rounds, right? But then you took Jordan Phillips in the 6th round or 6th, 7th round, right?
He's not playing any worse than Kenneth Grant.
I know.
Might be playing better.
No, and I think that's part of the issue, right? Like, I don't know. I always question why are you taking 3 players at the same position? Like, I didn't necessarily understand.
Oh, I love taking double. I love doubling down.
I like doubling down, but tripling down.
Zeke Biggers ain't playing. How you blame him? I bet you if he was on the field,
blaming him.
Hold on. If Zeke Biggers was on the field instead of Zach Sealer, I bet you have a better plump out situation because Zeke Biggers is actually good at that job, but he was inactive, which I have a problem with, and I have continued to have a problem with it. Benito Jones is playing injured. I'm sorry, Zeke Biggers is a nose tackle. He's probably the only other legit nose tackle. It's not your 3-4 defense is going to suck without a nose. That's just the reality of it. And do they have a nose? You mentioned it. I wrote a column and I mentioned it last week, and I think you mentioned it. Calais Campbell, the absence of Calais Campbell.
Yeah,
you are clearly feeling it and seeing it
for sure.
And at this point, unless Christian Wilkins is going to show up with a cape on and come rescue your season, I did it. Yeah, I said it. And Christian probably will wear a cape. I don't know if this gets fixed, bro.
Yeah, I mean, there's some very positive things to take away in the second half, right? Like, I think they got them in those favorable third down situations, right? Where they were third and long, they were able to kind of pin their ears back. And, I think that's the one redeemable quality. But again, I can't get over your captain trying to make a play in that situation. And something that I've never seen him do, right? I've never seen him go try to block a punt before in my life, right? Zach Sealer does a lot of things well. A lot of things. Never seen him do that. It's kind of like that Patrick Ewing quote, like, did you practice that? Did you practice that? Okay, so why are you trying to do it right now, right? Like, and I get it. Like, he wants to make a play.
You want to make a play.
I understand it, but that's not what your team needed at that point.
At that moment, I don't know if I would have did that. Like, we ready getting the momentum.
Look. I know it hindsight's 2020, right? Because if he makes that play, it changes everything, right? But again, to me, the safer option is getting the ball back in your offense's hands. They just scored, and just let them go to work.
How many impact plays has anybody made more impact plays defensively than Zach Sealer the last couple of seasons? I'm just asking.
Well, in 2025, because that's where we are right now, you can count his number of impact plays on one hand.
I don't know if he has one, but
exactly. That's the point. I didn't want to say that, but exactly. So the fact of the matter remains, right? Like, just give the ball back to your offense. And then, speaking of the offense, right? I'm a little bit fed up because Tua passed for 146 yards, 100-some yards.
Yeah.
4.6 yards per throw. 4.2, excuse me. 4.2. That is dreadful. That is awful. And I saw something at one point in the game, like, nearly 50% of his passes were behind the line of scrimmage. And I know Mike McDaniel loves to run those screens. I understand it. But what is happening? There's nothing open downfield. At this point, you got to start blaming the route concepts, because, like, why is it that everything at one point in the game, nearly half of Tua's throws were behind the line of scrimmage? Like, that you can't win football games averaging 4.2 yards per throw in 2025. Like, you can't.
Let me counter your point.
Go ahead.
Who's the number one third down offense in the NFL right now, heading into this week's game?
Couldn't tell you.
Miami Dolphins.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. Now, it converted, and yet yesterday's game where you converted 10 of 15 third down opportunities, that certainly benefited you. Now, you probably have also one of the worst third down defenses in the NFL, but that's another conversation. As I said earlier in the earlier podcast, my new mantra for 2025 is no more excuses. We're good. We're tired of that.
Okay.
However, just like you want to throw stones at him, and everybody is throwing stones at him, and big-time quarterbacks make clutch plays in those pressure-packed situations. But it would certainly help if a defensive lineman wasn't on a beeline train to lay you out.
That's fair.
Because his right guard, the backup right guard, your ninth offensive lineman that is now into the starting lineup, doesn't olay his block and rush you. In those moments, other players have to be big as well. And when I got a 6'7", 350 pound guy steamrolling to me where I look like a T-bone steak, I what you want him to do? Look the linebacker off when he what you want him to do? Just throw it up, throw it out of bounds.
Man, I mean, you have to take the check down. I get it, I understand it, but it's frustrating to watch because I'd have to go back and look at Devon Achane's stat line. It was like 7 catches for like 20-something yards.
Oh, Devon Achane had like 10 targets.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, no,
I don't know, man.
Let me ask you a question, and let's be honest about it. In 3 games, who's looked better than Devon Achane?
Oh no, Devon Achane has been the best player on this team for sure. 100%.
So what you want me to do? Not throw him 9 times? He got thrown the ball 9 times. And
I'm not saying that I don't mind the target share towards Devon Achane. He's been your best.
I actually do, by the way.
I know you do. I know you talked about that. I don't mind that. My issue is just that virtually everything was behind the line of scrimmage, and you cannot win football games not throwing the ball downfield. And granted, Tyreek's drop, which I'm calling it a drop because
it was a drop.
That's 100% what it was. But no, people sometimes.
Tyreek said, "I get paid a lot of money to make that catch."
I was like, okay, good. I'm just making sure because a lot of times
Tyreek said it in his own words, "I get paid a lot of money to make that catch."
Okay, I'm just making sure because a lot of fans, they kind of like to sometimes tiptoe around Tyreek. It's like, oh well, the ball couldn't have been in a better place and blah blah blah.
Yeah, the ball was throw on there, all this. Yeah,
no.
You got 2. I live by a rule. You got 2 hands on it. You supposed to bring it down.
Look, but see, that's the old school football where people not hip on that one. That's the way I was raised. If you can get a hand on it, you got to catch the ball.
You got 2 on it.
2 hands.
Bring it down. So, I watched. I forget what game I watched yesterday. I watched 3 games yesterday. I think it was the Kansas City game, where literally a receiver had dropped 2 passes. Kansas City game. A receiver had dropped 2 passes. They lost the game. The same receiver dropped 2 passes previously, 2 big plays. Patrick Mahomes kept going to him, threw him a 4th quarter touchdown. The defender has his hand on the ball just as much as the offensive player and is trying to rip it out. And he still held on to it and brought it down. And this is a receiver, I don't even know his name because first time I learned who he was like yesterday.
Was this like a recent Kansas City game you was watching?
Yeah, the one that happened Sunday. Again,
the
lost
game.
The
Eagles game versus the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles game. And
Hollywood Brown, Juju.
No, it's another receiver. I'll tell you in a second. And I'm like, okay, that's what elite quarterbacks. That's the type of plays elite quarterbacks make for receivers. All you see is Tyreek and Waddle catching open passes, and that's not them. That's the play calling. That's Tua. Where are they? Oh, it's Tyquan Thornton.
Okay.
Where are they, and when are they bringing down contested catches, contested grabs? And I'm not saying that Tyreek can't do it because obviously he did it previous week when Tua drastically underthrew a deep ball against New England. But on a regular basis, you need other players other than Tua Tagovailoa to step up. And everybody is sitting here throwing stones. Yeah, that was a substandard game for Tua. It was.
Of course.
You expect more, especially when you got Josh Allen on the other side. But up until the final minute, he had taken care of the ball. He converted on 3rd downs. He'd scored in the red zone. Generally, I'm good with that.
Yeah, he needs his guys to help him out. He definitely needs his guys to help him out. Like, I think that's 100% clear. I think if it's interesting because I tweeted something after the game that, like, you know, if you still want to fire McDaniel after this, you don't know ball, because he called a great game, right? But he can't make the plays for him. And I kind of felt the same about Tua a little bit up until that final moment, right? Like he'd thrown some balls, there'd been some drops. Obviously the Tyreek one being the big one. But like he needs some help. He does, like the offensive line situation, but you could have expected this though. They, you know, it's interesting.
That's the problem.
Yeah, Poop and I got into it on Twitter yesterday because I had said that like there's been a lack of investment of the offensive line.
No.
That's true. That's they have invested, but I was like, okay, but have you invested in quality backups, right? And he's like, well, that's a different conversation. I was like, is it? Because like if you know that your guys are going to be banged up, to me, I would try to get the cream of the crop of the next level, right? I want the guys that have been former starters that have, you know what I'm saying, like guys that I don't know, just it's to me it's just so mind-boggling. It's so mind-boggling that we're here again, like that.
Bro, I've been here for since 2007 with. They've had 3 good lines since 2007, and there's nobody to blame except for Chris Greer on this. This is clearly his blind spot as an evaluator. He could not. And let me stop. Let me behave myself. It's just tragically bad. And the worst part about it is, I was calling it out. Like week 1 of training camp, they put on pads like yo, no, this ain't gonna do. Like this is not going to do. And here we are with our 9th offensive lineman in the starting lineup. I remember, and this is important. I remember the 2016 season, which was a playoff season, Adam Gase's first year. They went into a game. I forget what game it was, but I do remember that Billy Turner was playing left tackle when he's a right tackle out of necessity. Okay. And there were injuries on the offensive line, and a couple of the backups were in the game, and they played like booty cheeks. Mm-hmm. Adam Gase came into a meeting the next week and said, can any of these guys help us? Can any of these guys help us win games? The answer was no. They cut 3 offensive linemen the next day. Sorry. Billy Turner, Jamil Douglas, and Dallas Thomas, who was really, really the problem. Mm-hmm. Now, Billy Turner caught a stray because he was actually a good player who just was asked to do a tough job, and he went on to go have a respectable NFL career. Mm-hmm. I think he's not in the league right now, but hell, Miami Dolphins should probably give him a call because maybe he can help you.
Wait, you talking about a lineman that was cut 9 years ago? Could help them now.
I think he just played for I think the Jets last year.
Okay.
Like, bro, he's got like 70 starts under his resume.
But like
he ain't bad. How old is this man? Smith, huh?
You said, how old is this man? That's my question.
In early 30s. He played for a little minute. Okay. I mean, but that's the point. But the point I'm making is Gase cut him. And would you know that cut sent shockwaves throughout the entire team, entire locker room. Your job is not guaranteed. You are not on scholarship. You are a professional athlete and you are expected to perform. And when you do, people become unemployed. Wouldn't you know that Dolphins team went on to rally the offensive line? That was the best offensive line that they probably had ever my tenure after that moment. And they went on to make the playoffs. That was the Jay Ajayi season.
Okay.
So, and I call that the unicorn offensive line because them dudes was mowing down people. Now, they couldn't stay healthy. They couldn't stay healthy altogether, but I think they had something like an 11-1 record when those starters were actually on the field in the game, start and finish. But the point I'm making is, unfortunately, when you're talking about the Miami Dolphins, everybody's safe. And nobody ain't getting fired. Everybody's here. We're all family, kumbaya. we'll get them next time. Sometimes heads got to roll for people to get people's attention.
No,
And
that's true.
And the reality is, Mike's too nice of a guy to do that, which is why you have, and I say it without any concern or fear or repercussions because you have no evidence to back it up. You have a soft team. They are just a mentally and physically soft team. And I don't know how that changes. Not under present management. Like, I mean, who in that organization right now fears for their job? I mean, other than GM, head coach, coaching staff. I'm talking players.
I was about to say something, but I don't know if that's I might get clipped and sent out. Because I'm gonna be honest. For as much money as Tua's making. Now, granted, I'm a firm believer of if you give Tua a I don't want to say great, but above average offensive line, like this could be a lot better, right?
You get above average play.
Exactly.
You give him substandard offensive line, you get substandard play.
Exactly. And it was interesting, right? And I also don't like just like throwing away a quarterback because you want something better. Like, oh, you want a runner, or you want this, or you want this and that. And like, I don't believe in that because I think a lot of times what's out there is not as much better as what you got, right? And so I say a lot to say, but there are real limitations in his game that
he scrambled. Hold on.
No, because you're about to talk about the scramble, and I get it. That was one of the few plays that he was able to do that. But you realize that
he can do it though. He can. What makes you think he can't do it? Like
coverages, the coverages that they run on him. They a lot of times they will run cover 55. They'll just put man up and they'll be like, I dare you to run the ball, right? And last night was the first time I've seen in the year 2025 of our Lord him actually take advantage of that, right? And so
he can run. He's just told not to run.
You said what?
He can run. He's told not to run.
But you don't think that's an issue? You don't think that's it? The very fact that we had to ask Mike McDaniel, what is his policy for allowing Tua to run the ball, to me is insane. That is not a question you should be asking a coach of your starting quarterback.
What is the world hammered into his head? Keep yourself available to your team.
I agree.
There are three quarterbacks that are out right now. Quarterbacks are the most precious commodity in the entire NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, people don't realize this, but Tua has played more NFL games than Joe Burrow.
Yes.
But nobody brings that up.
Yes.
But yes,
Joe Burrow looked better in the games that he's played than Tua.
Listen.
Yes.
He also got better receivers, if we're gonna be real about it.
Okay. But
let's probably on par offensive line.
But you're right, but they're both considered in that very good to elite tier.
Ooh, Burrow's ahead of Tua.
No. I'm talking about the receiving core.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Receiving core. They're both considered in that. I'll give Bengals elite, but like this one is still very, very good. So like, let's not. I don't like to throw out the receivers because essentially it's a wash. They can essentially cancel each other out. They both have really, really good receiving cores, right? So like again, you gotta evaluate what you see. And what I see is one doing better than the other. But that's not my point. My point is that until Tua Tagovailoa can take advantage of teams playing him drastically different than they play other teams, because they're not running cover 55 against Lamar. You're not doing that against Josh Allen. Heck, you're not going to do it against Jalen Hurts. You're not going to do it against Patrick Mahomes. You're just not going to do it, right? And so until
quarterbacks,
he can
scramblers. What you want?
I know.
You want Tua to run 10 times a game? Does that make you happy?
I don't want Tua to run 10 times per game. What I want is him to take advantage of what the defense is giving him. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. I want him to take advantage of the defense is giving. And I don't want to knock Tua completely for this game because I understand that they literally made an offensive line substitution mid-game because they said this guy is not doing good enough, right? Like, and again, I'm not, but then
okay,
goes in and then on the crucial play just lets up pressure. Like, it's
surprised
again. No, but
that's the problem. And that's the problem.
What I am surprised about is
and then y'all want this quarterback to feel like he can make a ham sandwich back there in the pocket and just, let me just wait for Tyreek to get open and throw them the ball. With what time? With what line? With what protection?
I agree. Yeah.
Like,
and I will say this: we like I appreciate Mike McDaniel for you could see the play calling change real time, right? He literally was like, "Nah, I want to go. Like, let's just go. Let's hit him in the head." Boom. Obviously, Tua made some very big third and long conversions, and that helped to keep the offense going. But at the same time, is it too much to ask for a couple more tweaks so we don't have these long developmental routes, right? So that Tua can get the ball off, so you can get the ball to your best player in situations that are favorable for him. And granted, I understand, like I can't help but think about Tyreek slipping right on that one play, right? And so like there's again, football is. I said it before. Like when you are playing a team that you know is better than you, like the margin of error is just so slim, and it just seems like consistently that this Dolphins team just keeps making those errors, right? And then you get this is why you're 0-3.
You have to be perfect. You buckle to the pressure. In the moments where the pressure and intensity mounts, you make a mistake, and you subsequently beat yourself. Now, the question I have is, even if, and this is truly my question, even if Zach Sealer didn't get that roughing the kicker penalty and the offense gets the ball back, you know how many times I've been in a situation where I've seen the Dolphins not actually drive the length of the field and score a touchdown? So I'm not going to sit here and magically say, we got it. It's good. We're not talking about Patrick Mahomes.
No. And it's funny that you say that because I'm like, dang, can I confidently say that they would have scored?
No.
Like, I'm not even saying not even scored.
Now, the last time they were in Buffalo, Tua did. Yeah. And then the defense gave it up.
Yeah.
So we've been in these situations countless times. The problem is when you gotta bow up, they don't bow up. Like it, and I don't know what changes that. I don't know what creates that mentality. I've said to somebody privately, and I do mean this, they're scared. I've been seeing fear in their eyes since week one. It's just the reality of who this team is, how they were built. Where are the dogs?
Yeah, they are lacking dogs for sure. They definitely are.
And this is not a challenge to anybody's manhood. This is not like, and I can tell you, Jordan Brooks, the penalty that he took, I
thought that was ticky-tack, to be honest. I thought that was ticky-tack.
Because here's the thing. Defensively, I saw a change in attitude and mentality in the second half. They were trying to punch the Bills in the mouth defensively. Yeah. Something allowed them to turn up the volume on that intensity. Yeah. And they were like, we playing through the whistle, not to the whistle, through the whistle. And then Buffalo started getting in their feelings and there were flags that should have been thrown a long time ago. The play where Dotson tackles a late sliding Josh Allen.
I don't know about that. I disagree with you on that one. Because the way I saw it, it looked like, especially when I saw the slow angle of Josh Allen coming towards the camera, it looked like he had literally, and I'm talking milliseconds, right? Just left his feet when Josh Allen started his slide. So I don't mind that play because again,
and then he didn't. That's my point. He didn't even barrel into him, hitting him hard. Yeah. He hit him, realized he slid or stayed high, went over him. Yeah, but the Bills still got in their feelings and started pushing, shoving.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Okay, no flag nowhere.
Yeah.
And you're in somebody else's home territory.
and then the kneel at the end of the second half. He fumbled that ball. He fumbled the ball, and Jack Jones made the smart play to try to run and go get it, but then
Jack Jones should have snatched the ball and kept running. Jack Jones should have snatched the ball from that referee. Anyway, but that's
But
ain't none of us see that until
we're Monday morning quarterbacking for sure. We're Monday morning.
You write the referees say, "Hey, this happened," and they'll say, "Sorry." Like, my bad. Like, okay, like that was gonna make it better. Like
that's 3 points. That's 6 points.
I don't disagree with you, but I mean, Jack Jones should have snatched it. But that Jack Jones should have snatched that ball and be like, and take it to the house. Yeah. But they blew a whistle. What are you gonna do? Like the refs blew a whistle. So that's ultimately just is it college where? Anyway, I don't even where even if a whistle is blown, they can give you the ball and possession, but at the spot where they blew the whistle, I just can't remember if that's NFL or college. I've seen it happen, but time had expired. What you gonna do? Are they gonna put an extra second on the clock and let you Hail Mary the ball? Like, I'm not getting obsessed about that, but you expect those type of calls when you're on the road. And especially in a hostile environment like Buffalo. But to me, the question is, how do they respond to this? They've got a mini bye week. They got a Monday night game against the New York Jets. They get to watch the Jets play this week. And ultimately, and I do say this and stand on this, you begin the season 0-4. You begin the season with 3 losses to AFC division opponents. That you lose at home on national television for the second straight game, that's a fireable offense. But then I get into the situation of, well, how do I make it better? Because clearly I'm not interested in elevating Anthony Weaver because his defense sucks. So
good last night,
If Anthony Weaver's defense was actually respectable, I'd think about it.
Yeah,
but you can't even make your unit respectable. How am I supposed to think you're gonna make the whole team respectable? So Steve Ross find himself in a tough spot.
A rock and a hard place.
Yeah, man.
$1 billion decisions. Are you asking me that question, or are we? Okay. I think we lean heavily on the run. Right. We can't let we can't fall behind the way we did, right, in the previous 2 games, because when you dig yourself that deep in a hole, you gotta find a way to get out of it, and passing is usually the way that teams opt to get out of it, regardless of how well they're doing in the run. So stick with the run. I saw some improvement from a receiver perspective, in the sense that, like, when Tua starts scrambling, they're actually going to come back to the ball. So I like that. I saw that.
You watch the coaching film. I ain't see it.
You didn't see it?
You brought it to my attention.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, now I see it a lot. It's like, oh, Tua scrambling. Ain't nobody helping you.
Yeah, usually
like, ain't anybody come back to the ball.
I mean, I'm saying Tyreek did on the he didn't go upfield and try to, like,
I mean, I would rather Tyreek go upfield.
I would not. Tua don't have the arm like that. Tua don't got the arm like that. He don't. He doesn't. It's okay.
Well, y'all just be disrespecting Tua.
I'm not disrespecting Tua, but Tua
can't run. Tua ain't got no pocket presence. Tua can't read the field. Tua can't throw the ball. Tua can't throw an out. Like, damn, y'all forgot this man was in the MVP conversation 2 times, 2 years.
He was in the MVP conversation
when? 2022 and 2023, sir.
22?
22, yes, before he suffered his concussion against Green Bay. Tua was in the MVP conversation. Okay. Y'all forget. Y'all quick to forget now. Okay. Y'all quick to forget. Okay. Now he just trash.
I didn't say that. I did not say that.
No.
I just said that he makes too much money to be.
Yeah. Stop counting that man pockets. Stop counting that man pockets. The market is the market, as Tua told you. The market is the market.
That's the issue in of itself. That's a bigger issue. That's been
an NFL issue. Hell, ain't nobody was crying when Ryan Tannehill made $250 million in his career.
Good guy.
Ryan Tannehill. All right, see? Nobody didn't know about that. Nobody remember that. Jay Cutler made $200 million. And that was back in the day before quarterbacks was getting paid. Like, Ain't nobody crying about that. Andy Dalton is a $200 million quarterback. Nobody crying about that. Listen, it is what it is.
You count other people's pockets now. You over here worrying about me counting the quarterback that I cover's pockets, saying that he's making way too much money to be making the decisions that he's making because I'm pretty.
Hey man, listen, you saw last season when Tua wasn't healthy. Were the Dolphins relevant?
No.
Okay. Imagine Zach Wilson as the starting quarterback.
I don't want to.
And now hush your mouth.
That would take years off my life.
Yeah. It could. All I'm saying is it could get worse. So Tua gives you a chance, but
he does. But again, the offensive line don't. So what are we doing here?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
All right, Dolphins in Depth. We have a nice long weekend. We will be back on Monday to give you sort of a wrap up of where the Dolphins stand with 7 days to go before their Monday night game against the New York Jets. On that note, we are out, and we will see you on Monday.